Hello everyone, welcome to JS Simplified, a beginner's guide. So today I'll be introducing you to JavaScript. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. So, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a text-based programming language used both on the client side and the server side that allows you to make web pages interactive. Where HTML and CSS are languages that give structure and style to web pages, JavaScript gives web pages interactive elements that engage a user. So what can JavaScript do? JavaScript can be used for making mobile apps, for making UI or UX, that is user interface and user experience, and it can be used for XSS, that's cross-site scripting. That's a type of attack, and we'll be learning about that later, but not now. And it can be used for game development and web servers. So you do not need to worry about any of these right now, because we won't do this right now. And first we'll have to learn about basic JavaScript, that is vanilla JavaScript. So now let's look at some of its frameworks. JavaScript has many frameworks, but the most popular of these are jQuery, AngularJS, Vue.js, React.js, and Express.js. Again, you do not need to worry about any of these right now. First, we'll be learning vanilla.js, and then we'll be moving on into these. So now let's get started. And okay. Okay, so we're in the text editor. So you need a text editor for this step now. A text editor can be like Notepad or Notepad++, Sublime Text, Atom, or the Visual Studio Code that I'm using right now. So when you're in a text editor, so you can create a new file. Yeah. Now let's get started. I'll select a language, that is JavaScript, and I'll save this as just a second in hello.js, and I'll write a simple line of code. Okay. So now we have written our codes. Now what do we do? How do we execute this? The solution is simple. I have given a link in the description. So you need to click on that link, and then you will be redirected to the Node.js website. So let me tell you what Node.js is. Node.js is a framework of JavaScript that allows JavaScript to be run on the system, like not on the browser but on the system. So there are many ways of running JavaScript, but I'll be teaching you two of these ways. The most common one is Node.js, that is locally, and the other one is on the browser. I already have downloaded Node.js on my system, so I don't need to download it once again. So if you do not have Node.js in your system, you can download it. And how can you check if you have Node.js or not? Just open the CMD or any terminal that you have, and enter in it node ---- version. And if it returns a version number, then you have Node.js installed, and you can skip this step. Like, you do not need to download it once again. And if you do not have Node.js, then you need to download and install it. Okay, so now let's execute this program. Let's go to the directory where my file is, and we will now execute this. Okay, so this is the command of executing a file on the system. You can just write node and then the file name. See, it's so easy. Like, you just write some code, you save the file as a JavaScript extension, and then you open a terminal, enter node and then the file name, and then the code will be executed. So this was the tutorial of how to run JavaScript using Node on your system locally. Now let's go to the browser. For this we need a like a web server. I'm using XAMPP right now, but you can use any of these. And a web browser is also not necessary. You can just go to any random website and press Ctrl Shift and J, and a console will be opened, and there will be an arrow like this. You can write JavaScript commands in this, like console.log hello world. Just a second. Okay, and do not forget to write semicolon after every line, and JavaScript will be executed like this also. I'll be teaching you how to execute JavaScript using HTML files also, but not in this video. I'll be teaching that in the next video. So this is it for this video. This was the introduction of JavaScript, and you can practice JavaScript while you wait for the next video, and see you in the next video.